Hello students, today I am going to explain you the 5th chapter of your supplementary reader. The name of the chapter is Golu Grows a Nose by Rudyard Kipling. Introduction of the chapter. The story is a fiction that revolves around the growth of the trunk of an elephant from a snout. A fictitious elephant, Golu, is introduced in the story, whose adventures are shared. Summary of the chapter. The opening lines of the story talk about the snout baby elephant Golu. He had no trunk but a bulgy nose. Golu was inquisitive and wanted to know how other animals are managing their lives. He asked ostrich if it had ever flown as other birds do. He inquired about the red eyes of the hippo and the spotty skin of a giraffe. Everyone had no answer to his difficult questions. Once he asked Mena about the food of crocodile, and it suggested he too visit the grassy Limpopo river. He went home and informed about his planning to visit the river. He carried food for himself. He met Python on the way and asked about the crocodile. He did not respond, but Golu helped him to coil around the branch. It took him a few days to reach the river. He saw a log of wood, which was really a crocodile. He threw the same question on the crocodile, admitted him to be one. He then inquired about his food. Crocodile replied that it would tell him in the air, and by duping him caught hold of his nose to eat him in his dinner. Then appeared Python to save him. The crocodile was trying to take him into deep water. The nose kept on stretching because he was pulled from one side by a crocodile and from the other side by Python. Golu sat down by the riverside to cool his stressed nose. After 2 days, he used it to hit the fly dead and then plucked a large bundle of grass. When Python talked about his strength of having a long nose, Golu was rebuked and threw mud at him and slapped him. Thus, Golu realized the benefit of having a long trunk and felt grateful about it. So students, we were talking in this story. It was a time when the elephant had no trunk. Golu was a baby elephant. He had only a bulgy nose. He could only move it from side to side, but he couldn't pick up things with it. He was full of questions. He asked his aunt, the ostrich, why she didn't ever fly like other birds. He asked his tall uncle, the giraffe, why his skin has spots. He asked the hippopotamus why his eyes were always red. Finally, he asked the monkey why melons tasted like melons. One day Golu asked the Mena bird what the crocodiles always had for dinner. The bird directed him to the Limpopo river to find out. Taking a lot of sugar canes, bananas and melons, he went to the great river. He met a python and put his question and got no reply. Golu moved on the river bank when he saw a log of wood. It was really the cunning crocodile. Golu put his question to him. He told that he would give the reply in his ear. It caught Golu by the nose and told that today he would eat the elephant. It started dragging him hard into the stream. Golu cried for help. The python came and coiled fast round Golu's stomach. Both pulled very hard. At each pull, Golu's nose grew longer and longer. He was freed at last. In 2 days, his nose grew cool, but it did not shrink. Instead, it turned into a trunk. However, it proved to be very advantageous. Golu first hit a stinging fly dead with his trunk. Then he plucked the grass and put it into his mouth. The trunk enabled him to dig up some mud and throw it on his head. He thanked the python for its help. So students, thank you very much for patience listening. I hope the story is clear to you. To get it more clear, please read the chapter thoroughly.